Robert, let's start today with the data on industrial production. The cold snap at the end of December had a major effect on that, correct?
Yes, Susan, we did have, as you know, extreme cold in much of the country in December. And even though the data that we discuss is all seasonally adjusted, we still see weather effects when the weather gets either really bad, hot or cold. And in December, the cold weather boosted industrial production and it hurt housing.
Explain a little bit more about how that impacted housing starts.
Yeah, so in housing, it has the opposite effect. It's hard to build homes and it's hard to go out and buy homes. So the housing starts numbers we saw for December down a little bit, almost entirely due to single family starts being pretty weak. The good news there, though, is when we look on the permit side for single family, we see 4 consecutive months of gains. So there's momentum there. Even beyond once we account for the weather effects. So I do expect single family to come back.
Well, staying on the subject of housing, we saw the first 2 weeks in January, mortgage applications were up. So what does that tell you?
Yes. Yeah, and that's nice to see that because the December numbers were fairly soft. And so far, we've had 2 weeks in January to report, and we've seen positive numbers in both those weeks. So I think we're all set here for a good housing market, a good single-family housing market in 2018.
Robert, we've been talking a lot about tax reform, and we heard some recent news from Apple. Big news, the CEO, Tim Cook, announced that Apple's going to be investing $350 billion in the U.S. economy. What are your thoughts on that, and will we see other companies doing the same?
Yeah, I think this is good news for the U.S. economy. Significant investment, business investment. One of the things that I'm getting the feeling that many economists have underestimated the impact of tax reform, particularly corporate tax reform, the potential on the U.S. economy. And if this expansion keeps going, we have very liquid companies, a lot of cash out there. We could see some good numbers for business investment this year ahead. And that's been one of the weak components of GDP here in this business cycle. So 2018 could be a breakout year for business investment.